Hello and welcome back to the Duckpond Ace Attorney Book Club. My name is Ziggy and we are here again for another case of Ace Attorney Apollo Justice. Case 3, Turnabout Serenade, the one and only case that I had done a little under half of but have finally finished for the first time ever. Wow, it's great to be here. Goomb, you've played this case before, probably like 3 times now. What's your initial thoughts going into it? Going into our discussion of this case. Is it everything you remembered it being?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, this is the 3rd time I've played this case as well, because I tried to play through Apollo Justice twice and I got to this one section of the case that made me really angry and stopped playing. So this is my 3rd time playing through the first little section of the case.
Is it a puzzle or a plot?
It's a objection you have to bring up and point something out. I think it's specifically in regards to the one where you have to show that. I'm not gonna pronounce her name right. Lamire.
I don't know. Say her name. Lamar.
Lamar.
I don't know.
Whatever. It's the one thing you have to point out where if she opened the door, she couldn't see the bullets on the other side of the door. I don't know. For some reason that one just never clicked in my head, and then when it did, I thought it was stupid, so then I gave up. But I did not think it was as stupid this time, probably because for the entire first part of this case, it was the only thing I was thinking about. So once I got to that point,
I never had problems with that personally.
It was smooth sailing from there. But yeah, I mean, my initial impressions of this case was that I wasn't too sure if I was really gonna be a huge fan of it. And now that I've finally completed it, I think that it's okay. I have some issues with it that I'll probably bring up and you'll probably be able to shoot down. But
it used to. I mean, I don't know how positively I'm coming across. This used to at least ever a case in the series. So
really, okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've softened on it a bit over the years, and also there's a case that is worse in a later game.
Okay, so then maybe you'll agree with some of my things that I bring up why I'm not a huge fan of this case.
I just don't want to start off right away by saying that. You know, what are you going?
Yeah. we'll see. It was kind of like a big dip in the middle for a lot of that, and then the ending was maybe brought it back some. I don't know. We'll see as we talk through it more. But at the very least, I don't think as good as the last case, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. But anyways, how about we hop right into it? So we pretty much this case actually takes place on July 7th, 2026, which is literally yesterday in real time. What the heck? So I think that means technically the final section of this case takes place tomorrow. Is that right? Maybe? Because you do the initial investigation on the 7th, and then the trial and the second investigation is on the 8th today, and then the final trial is on the 9th, right?
No, the first trial is on the 9th because it's 2 days in between the start of the case.
Oh, really?
Huh. Yeah.
I see. Well, regardless, we're in the thick of the case right now, so I guess
it's happening.
Yeah, we're not supposed to know how this case ends.
Right now, Apollo Justice is finishing the investigation on day 1. Like, it's the second half after the concert is over, the day afterwards, because the concert happens on the 7th.
I see. Yeah, that's pretty crazy though that we got it lined up like that. But anyways, Trucy and Apollo got invited to one of the Gavineers concerts, except they actually only got like 20% off tickets. I think they didn't get like free tickets.
But they got invited to pay for a concert, just less.
Yeah, they got to go backstage though, because they just needed somebody to be set up there to like kind of almost witness the crime. You have that, and then we get introduced to a couple new characters pretty quickly. We got the one and only Lamior Lamir Lamir. I think it's Lamir. The
There's
the
only
the siren herself. What do you think
it's
about Lamir?
it's Miroir. It can't just be mirror.
Lamir. Lamir.
I don't know. She's nice, but she's not really like. I never found her super interesting. Is the problem? She's kind of generic feeling. I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess I feel kind of bad for her.
I don't know why she's given the name of the siren. Usually sirens are like
Because
they
sirens are
come
good
off
at
as
singing.
they come off as nice people, but then like they're actually secretly evil. But
Because sirens
she's
are
not.
good at singing. That's why.
I guess so, but like, man. Well, I guess to be fair, that name was given to her by our victim of this case,
It was not. It was given to her by a
Romaine.
producer that we never see.
Oh, well,
She's only
regardless,
been working with Romaine Lettuce or Romaine
Romaine
Latehouse for
Lithouse.
a few months.
Yeah, big guy gets taken down pretty quickly. We don't really get to interact with him much.
You talked to him for a bit. It's like a Turner Gray too.
Yeah, and we also
It's not as
have
funny as Turner Gray is though. Sad.
the eventually at the end of this investigation, our defendant, Machi Tobai, who also has a lot of secrets behind him as well. Because when we were introduced to these people at the very beginning, um, we only know that they come from the country of Virginia, I believe.
Yeah, that country appears in Eastern
Virginians.
Investigations as well.
Yes. So I had played up to that part in this case, and then when we placed investigation, I was like, what the heck? They referenced the country that Lemire and Machi Tobai are from. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then some of the Eastern games, I think it might be Investigations, have like an anti-piracy thing where the Borginian language replaces all the English text
Oh, that's
if it detects
amazing.
that it's pirated.
That's absolutely amazing.
By the way, because I'm probably gonna forget to say it in Japanese, Romaine's lettuce is literally Romaine Lighthouse's name is literally just Romaine lettuce. The origin story is that Shutakami was looking at a recipe while he was writing the case, and he was like, "Ooh, romaine lettuce."
I see. That's one way to come up with the name, I guess. I don't really know what the joke is for Machi Tobai.
I don't either.
Probably just a name. I don't know. He's like a child, I guess. Whatever. I don't really have many thoughts on him at all. I guess we'll talk about him more later when he's actually relevant. He does continue to trend though in this game of having us talk to our defendant like at the very end of the investigation day and getting like no time to interact with them at all. So that's
His
something.
English, according to the Ace Attorney Wiki, his English name is based off of his Japanese name, and his Japanese name is
Based off his
designed so
English
that the
name.
first and last characters make cocoon.
Oh. Yeah, that doesn't really work in English then, does it?
No.
Yeah.
Convention Callias Loon.
Right, but pretty quickly we get the famous Nintendo DS 3D graphics where we get to see Lemire singing on stage with Gavin.
The amazing 3D capabilities of the DS, where Clavier Gavin looks like he's from like McDonald's Pakistan commercial for Apollo Justice.
Yeah, I looked back at how the animatic looked like on like the DS, just like a Lucagen playthrough, and honestly, it doesn't look too much different from what they have in the remaster.
They didn't make new models or anything for the remaster
Yeah,
or for any of the
like
game.
Gavin still his hair still looks really not exactly right, and some things still look a little bit off, but
I feel like the like footage and Rise from the Ashes looked better than this, which it came first. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it wasn't like lit very well, and it was in
yeah.
black and white.
I also think it could be because in this one they sometimes have like just 2D sprites of them drawn over compared to the 3D models, so the 3D models just stand out a lot more. I mean, we'll probably talk about it a bit more eventually, but I do think in the end, even though they really have you watch this thing like so many times and it gets kind of annoying, and also you can't skip through the text in it, I do
Yeah,
like the idea of having one like big sequence at the beginning that has a bunch of errors that eventually get like unfolded on throughout the case. Some stuff more obvious than others. Like they want you to focus on Gavin like having his guitar like catch on fire, so it kind of stops you from really thinking about anything else that could be different with it. But I at least like that concept of I feel like that was the main thing where they were going for this case, which is like let's have a big sequence at the beginning that you slowly start to see the problems with, and then like how that interacts with other things. But just the issue is they make you watch it too many times and you can't speed it up.
Yeah.
So,
That's a famous problem with this case, that they play the unskippable cutscene video like a million times.
yeah. She do that, that's pretty good. And then Apollo's like, alright, I'm an old man of 22 years old, so I'm gonna just step out for a bit and not listen to the music. I get to hang out with.
Well, he just doesn't like the Gaviner song.
That's true.
Mostly because Apollo doesn't really like Clavier that much.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because like most of the Ace Attorney rival dynamics are like actually somewhat antagonistic, and Apollo just doesn't like Clavier.
Yeah. Kind of funny. I think he thinks he's like during the beginning of this case, he's all like, "Oh, I should have gotten into like playing guitar or whatever."
I think he just thinks Clavier is unprofessional.
And that's true. I mean, throughout this case, I feel like it is proven that Gavin is kind of unprofessional, seeing as he had a lot to do with the whole thing being pulled off to begin with. But yeah, you hang out with Emma for a bit, and then you hear some gunshots. And there's also this I don't remember what it's called. It's the earpiece thing though on the ground that you can inspect but don't actually ever do anything with. That's really annoying. You don't actually get to put it in your evidence at all for the entire first investigation day, which is so stupid. Because it's like that's a freaking important. It seems like a really important thing, like right there immediately. But whatever. I guess they just only wanted it to be relevant on the second day. So, sure. But yes, you both go into Lemire's room and find that the Taos has been murdered with a 45 caliber gun. Except he's actually still alive. He hasn't died yet.
He's dying though.
Yeah. And he's also got some stuff like written in his blood on the ground, but it's been kind of like wiped out. So that's
In a stunning twist for Ace Attorney, the victim actually wrote the message in their blood.
Yeah. You know, now that I
Like,
think about it, if he was alive,
that's the first time this happened.
he was alive. If he got killed during the second act, and then he was alive all the way up until the third act, did the killer really wait around that long for him to write out a message in his blood? And then
Well,
try
the killer
to
had to be
away?
on stage.
Yeah, but
That's the idea.
how did the stuff? Oh, it was Machi Tobai that wiped it out, wasn't it?
I don't know. I never explained who wiped it out. It could have just been that he wrote it immediately, and then the killer erased it immediately. Listen,
Wasn't
there are plot
Tobai?
holes in this case.
Wait.
Don't worry about it.
Wasn't Tobai in the
There-
room though when the poppers went off?
No, he was only.
I'm just trying
He
to
only
figure.
went in. He went in after the second set and before the third set started. Like when Apollo was heading into the hall at the same time.
Okay,
And then he realized there's a dead body there.
yeah, I can't remember because I didn't really ever follow up on who actually wiped off that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, maybe that's a plot hole. I don't know, but
There are other plot holes in this case that I've always been thinking about. We don't have to worry about that one.
yeah. So immediately Emma is like, you know what? I trust you. I'm just gonna leave everything in your care and go try and find the police or whatever and get this place locked down. You hear some other stuff like with the door closing again, which I don't exactly remember who that was at all. Do you remember off the top of your head what the second door closing thing was about?
That was Lemure.
Oh, she
That's
was
what-
just peeking in. I see.
Yeah, she like opened the door and then she realized that Apollo was in.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and then we just go around and do a bunch of investigating for evidence and stuff. Find that little brooch that she dropped. Obviously, gun, the the keys in his hand, the Latao's hand. We get the first little snippet of the Yellow Man, the guy that seems to not be questioned at all, and I thought was really stupid, but I guess they sort of had a reason for why he wasn't being questioned at all, being around on the premises. Just kind of weird to have him show up, I guess. He definitely, I mean, I guess we can just talk about him now. He's what, Valence Gromere?
Grimoire.
Grimoire?
It's a grimoire is the like what it's based off of. It's a mutation of that word. So I always say grimoire.
He just kind of seemed like the guy that shows up on the second investigation day and gives us all the clues we need to solve the case, pretty much. Like, aha, I am here. And now I will explain the plot to you. I like
he does
this.
something very important, which is he has the best. He introduces the best running joke in the case, and my favorite lines.
Oh
which
yeah.
It's the thing about him like leaving the room, where with a whirl of his cloak and a wink of his eye, he turned and walked through the door normally. And then later, when like Phoenix leaves the courtroom lobby on trial day 2, and he walked through the door just like a magician normally.
Yeah, that is a pretty good gag. I like his little staff twirling animation as well. It's kind of nice. But
I also like that animation a lot, and the Grimoire song that he has playing with him.
Otherwise, it's just kind of weird to have him show up on the first day. It kind of gets you questioned, like, why is this guy not like being questioned at all or stopped? Why is he just allowed to do all this stuff? Pretty strange. But oh well, I guess it's not a huge deal. Eventually we make it up on the stage though. We get introduced to the other guitarist of the Claviers, Gavin's band.
Gaviners.
Darian Crescent. Like a
crescent.
Like a crescendo. He's got a big tuft of hair. Kind of like Josuke. What a guy. What do you think about Darian?
I like his jacket. He's not really that interesting of a character. He's just kind of mean. He's like a Franco Knight if Franco Knight didn't spin a gun and have really fun animations.
Yeah. He's something.
See, I can't criticize Valent, how you say I want to say his name. I can't criticize him being in the case because he injects like some much needed personality into the cast here. Everyone is kind of boring.
I guess so.
All the case specific characters.
I mean,
Valent shows up and he's like, "Egads, great gazooks! I'm a magician." I'm like, "Holy cow, this is a shot in the arm."
So on this playthrough, I still hadn't necessarily gotten to the point where I had clocked who the killer was yet, but I do think I started to suspect Darian pretty quickly. Because, I don't know, I just felt like our suspect pool was running dry pretty fast. And, you know, some of the other stuff he does on day 2 as well is kind of like, yeah, he's pretty clearly the killer.
Also, the fact that Lamar calls him the killer in trial day 1, that probably helps.
Yeah, that definitely does help. You play a little mini game, the mixing board.
I actually really like the mixing board. I have no criticism for the mixing board.
I don't have any problem with it. It's just like more use of like the Nintendo DS touchscreen, you know?
Yeah. I was just going on I think the mixing board is very good. I like how you could just find all the stuff in as soon as you get access to both the songs in it, you can like find all the like problems in a Guitar Serenade. I think it's only a trial day 2 where you get to hear Guitar Serenade on the mixing board, but still.
Yeah.
Like if you're attentive, you can.
They don't actually tell. I think they show it there for a second, but they don't actually tell you that they switched out the songs. I think for the entire first day, it's still the original one. It's like
yeah, and they do a good. I think they do a good job with like progression of making it harder to find the stuff. For the last one, at least.
For the last one, they don't even give you a penalty if you get it wrong.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think they anticipate Ace Attorney people being very musically inclined, but I still got it right on my first try with no problem. But I also have played this before, so.
I think I was a little bit confused about which one they were trying to make me point out. Like I could hear where it was wrong, but I didn't exactly know which was the one to compare it to.
Oh, the logic is that you're comparing something to the one that was being played at first that you hear, which is the one that's wrong. So you have to point out the one that's right.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad you don't get a penalty for that, at least. I think the mixing board idea is good. Just kind of going with the whole theme of like presenting you with something and then you have to point out um, all the little inconsistencies that you hadn't realized before. Kind of like we can like bring up a contradiction or whatever in a testimony. But, yeah. Regardless, this also brings up the fact that the whole setup of the case was actually um, following the lyrics of the I don't even
The
know the
Guitar
name of the
Serenade.
song. The Guitar Serenade, yeah. With the whole thing with the keys being stolen and the person and the guitar burning up and then the person being shot. And then I didn't say anything super important happens after that until you
Yeah,
eventually
you bring
get
you bring it up
to
here, and then because the case isn't actually following the lyrics until this point, that's because Jarian isn't there for that conversation. That's why he gets the idea to like lift up the body.
yeah.
That's because that's the like a plot point is that the killer just decided to make it follow lyrics later. So they don't actually explain that very well because
Oh,
there's like, oh, the
wait,
killer was making
really?
it. Yeah,
Oh,
well,
I didn't get that. I didn't
it
get that
was to help
impression at
him.
all.
It was to help. They don't explain it very well, but the idea is that to help him. It's another reoccurring trend of this case is that they don't explain their ideas very well. But the idea is that to help him with his alibi, when he hears that truth, he'd be like, "Oh, everything that's happened has been according to your song, Clavier." He's like, "Oh, I can do this," and then they'll be like, "Oh, this happened in this order because it's to match the song."
Oh, really? That kind of puts a little bit of a dent in the case then, because I thought the whole thing was he was like, yeah, we'll have it match the lyrics, but then I'll actually do it out of order to throw people off. But then is that just saying
Well,
that
he wasn't planning on killing the guy. That wasn't part of the plan.
I think it's
He,
a lot cooler if it's like I planned this so that you would make the connection that's to the lyrics, but then it would throw you off the order of events. It's just
I'm
all
not
being
saying it
random
would be
is
cooler.
it's just all being random is lame.
That is what it is, Ziggy. It is
Oh,
random.
that sucks.
The
Damn.
murder wasn't planned at all because he didn't know that like he didn't know that guy was a what he was an Interpol agent until he was confronted about it.
I mean, yeah, I guess now if we're talking about the murder a bit, I can also bring up the fact that they never question any fingerprints on the gun at all. Like they say it's his gun, but we never actually get any indication like how Darian even got the gun from him or how the whole encounter went.
They say that no, they say there was a struggle between the victim and the killer, and then at some point the killer got his hands on the victim's gun.
Hmm. But they didn't check for
Which
fingerprints at all?
this is the problem, Ziggy, is that the defendant in this case is Machi, who is a small 14-year-old kid. And
Yeah.
they point out multiple times that the revolver is so powerful it would dislocate someone's shoulder if they didn't know how to fire it. And you're gonna sit here and claim that a 14-year-old boy with no firearms training, who also is thought to be blind for like at least part of the case, just can like accurately fire a rifle and then just be fine because he went into a medical examination in
No.
jail.
Their whole thing was like, oh, actually, he missed at first. So
Well, he
I
still
know.
has an uninjured arm, and he went to a medical exam. The killer has an injured arm. That's like a plot point in the case. That's why the note is wrong in the first mixing board section.
Yeah. Well, they don't bring that up until later. To be fair, like he kind of just shrugs it off.
You're not allowed to
But
bring up the fact that Machi is completely unharmed, though. It's so dumb. It's
yeah,
like
I mean,
the
he's like Machi is like holding his arm in his sprite, kind of, but nobody ever actually brings it up. I guess.
that's clearly just because he's like nervous, though. It's like he's holding both of his arms like in a position.
Yeah.
I'm talking about his like shocked sprite,
I
I
don't know. I
guess,
mean,
or like he clutches his
obviously,
chest.
I do agree with that. But I'm just like, why don't they ever bring up fingerprints in this? Literally, Emma is working this case. She should be all over that. They didn't check for them at all. I mean, I guess he could have been wearing gloves, but still, I don't know. It didn't look like he was wearing gloves at all. Well, that's
I've always felt like the implication that they just couldn't find any, but they just don't ever say it. So
I wish
again,
they would at least mentioned it. That would have
I
made me happy. But
I think trying to cover their bases is like a bit too far above Turnabout Serenade's pay grade.
yeah. Well, anyways,
I don't like Turnabout Serenade.
because for some reason the police are completely inept in this universe, which will again be proven. Every witness and also victim and crime scene is just allowed to run free. So eventually, Machi and Lataus end up like on the little stand thing that they have because everybody here is inept, and also somehow the killer moved both of them. It's crazy. They also, for some reason, all suspect that the tiny child was able to move the like probably 200 plus pounds man all the
Yeah,
way up there,
he's like
which is
half of
crazy.
Latalis' size.
Oh no, I am starting to get a bad feeling of this case because we're only like 20 minutes into this, and I already feel like it is slowly going down my list.
See,
Uh,
now you know what it's like for me, who has thought about this case for many years. I've softened on it a bit, but I still don't like it.
this is how it's gonna go. You're just gonna make me hate it even more.
Yeah, I had my the problem with the biggest problem for this case for me is that arresting Machi makes no sense, and the problem is for the ace attorney structure to work, you have to feel like you're fighting against impossible odds, but you never, or at least like partially, like oh, no one else believes this person, I have to do this. I know they're innocent, even though everything points to them, but you never feel like that because it makes no sense for them to arrest Machi in the first place.
It kind of feels like you're fighting against like stupid odds. I don't know.
Yeah.
People are just too
So
inept.
there is like the Shu Takami's excuse for this is that like Darian's a detective, so he's manipulating the system to see someone else as the killer, but that doesn't make. He wasn't even in the investigation at all because he was barred from it for being a suspect for most of the case.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we can move on to the trial. Um, we got Emma up on stand here first, and basically this whole thing makes a clown show out of her. Um, we have her and Lemire. Well, Lemire shown up on the testimony. I think we also have one moment in here where we got to do our little perception thing on her. Uh,
Yeah, you have to. She's like gulping, but every time I play this case, for some reason, I just see that she's not moving her mouth, and I gotcha that, and then it zooms
exactly.
in on the mouth, the gulping.
The gulping is way too. It doesn't stand out enough. I just noticed that she stopped talking, and I'm like, I mean, that's different, I guess. Even when she does that later on, I did it on her mouth, and then it's when I like did the gotcha, it like snapped to her neck, and I was like,
Yeah, that
oh
happened to me the first time, but the second time I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be the gulp again, so I just went to the neck.
yeah,
I did not. I
that
was
was
remembering.
that was kind of silly. But yeah, this one, I mean, this was the part that I had stopped at with the whole door not being able to see the bullets contradiction. Um, we get a little part here where we do some luminol testing, which for some reason they had decided not to do up until this point. I don't know why. Also, for some reason, the message that he spelled out is still very much good enough for them to see all this stuff. I don't know. The trial day is fine.
I guess it had to have been there for a while for it to like get more soaked in the parts that were like legible. Maybe if they had it like be readable when you saw his body, and then like
You didn't know what it
after,
was.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Do you know
picture.
that could make sense for him to wipe it out like once he went to go retrieve the body?
Yeah, maybe I'm saying maybe if it was structured that way, it would make sense. It's not what it is
Yeah.
because it's wiped out when you see him the first time because it's the same CG. But like maybe if the CG was different when you saw his last words in the case the first time, and then when Paul's flashing back to it, it's blurred out
No,
because
it's blurred out when you first find him.
No, I'm
100%.
saying what they should have done. It's blurred out every time you see him. I'm saying like a way for it to make sense for you to have to use luminol, but like actually have it make a logical sense is for the killer to erase it when he's moving the bodies in day one, and then
Yeah, but you spend so much time with the body already by that point. I feel like you would notice that immediately after. Well, you don't
yeah, I don't
actually even
know.
get to investigate the place after the bodies are moved. You just do that and then
Yeah.
immediately like, go to the stage. So maybe that
Maybe they
doesn't
could have
work good.
maybe they could have restructured some things. I mean, it needs work anyway.
Yeah.
Just like there has to be a way to make stuff make sense. Well,
And also, why does Lataus even write out his Interpol number? The whole reason for him doing that, like that the case presents, is that he writes that out and Darien goes finds it, and that's how uh Lemire hears his Darien's voice again to get him. But besides like that reason, what I mean, that's just like the events of the case lead to that, but what other reason would he have to write out his number?
it's so you can have a mystery as to what the number means.
So that's, I think that's stupid. I don't know.
So the reason, okay, I actually remember this because it's another thing they don't explain in the case that because this case is not very well written, but he doesn't know who Darien's name, so he doesn't have any information he can give about Darien specifically. So he's just like, well, if I write down my ID, then then the other people will know what I was investigating, and they'll know there was smuggling afoot. Is the logic?
Smuggling afoot. I guess so.
Because they did not know each other. He just was trying to like track down the guitar,
Yeah.
and they bumped into each other.
Well. Uh, is that do it for that first trial day?
You prove that Lamore is blind. Is blind.
Right. That's true.
And that Machi can see, which is pretty important because the entire premise up to this point is that the victim is. I mean, Machi is the defendant is blind, and Lamore is like his seeing eye adult woman.
Just going through my.
But in actuality, he was her seeing eye 14-year-old boy.
True. Yeah, it was all an act played up for stuff. Which seems to be a running theme in this case, where the performers just lie because they want to keep up their act even on the stand under oath.
Yeah.
Which I guess, I don't know. For these guys, it's like
people get really annoyed
whatever.
about it, but some people get really annoyed about it when they're talking about this case. But for me, it's Ace Attorney. And also, like, did you really think you would have a magic trick in the game and you'd not like have to at least prove what happened once?
I think the problem is that it happens like multiple times in this case. It's like, I could tell you what it was, but actually maybe we should have a testimony, and then you should figure out the right piece of evidence to present to counter my testimony.
Listen, when I like the gameplay, I'm not going to complain about more gameplay.
I mean, I guess so. I think maybe it's just the way that they present it as well, because it's like, oh, I'm not going to tell you how it was done, Apollo, but if you guess how it was done, then I'll say that, yes, that's how it was done. Like,
I do think it's funny that the judge stops the murder trial on day 2 to make you prove how a magic trick was done.
Yeah. I think maybe I didn't think I'd be saying this, but maybe it works a bit more in Big Berry Circus because, like, the magic trick itself that happens in there is like related to the actual murder that took place. So it's not like anybody was like intentionally.
And also the cast in Turnabout Big Top is like more insane. So
yeah,
because like Lamore is like pretty normal. She just is being really stubborn for what feels like no reason. And so it's kind of frustrating.
In this one, it's like she doesn't really have a reason to not just reveal the magic trick. Besides just, I want to keep up the professionality. Even though if I don't say this and Apollo doesn't figure it out, Machi is going to go to jail and then the killer will go free.
Yeah.
Same for like Trucy too. She's like, oh, I figured out how it works, but actually I think you should say how it works, Apollo.
Well,
I get
think it makes sense.
I get
I
that
think
it's
it makes
game,
sense for
but...
Trucy because she's a magician. You don't reveal another magician's secrets.
Yeah.
I will defend Trucy on this.
It's I guess this is the sort of thing where I could see either way. I mean, it's a gameplay thing. It would probably be more lame if they just were so forthcoming with their evidence, but also in real life, that's stupid, but it's not real life, I guess. So
Yeah.
whatever.
I like how Lemur's producer never didn't know any details about her. He's like, oh, I got it. The sightseeing magician. I mean, musician. The
Yeah.
sightseeing musician, blind woman.
uh, I think I did get one of the things wrong on this trial day, though, and I'm glad that I got it wrong because it led to one of my favorite quotes of this case, where Clavier says, "Thank you for presenting evidence that was clear and plain as requested." And then the judge says, "Yes, clearly and plainly wrong. I'm afraid the only thing flipped on its head here was you as a child, Mr. Justice."
The judge is like good at roasting people. It's
Yeah.
the secret technique that he has. I feel like I sometimes underrate the penalty dialogue. There's a lot of good penalty dialogue. I sometimes don't see it because I'm so knowing all the answers already.
Yeah, I think that was in reference to Apollo being like, here's the evidence that will flip this case on its head or whatever. So, yeah, very good comeback from the judge there.
The judge is trying out for the role of Judge Judy.
Yeah. Um, I think that pretty much does it for this trial day, though. Is there anything else super important you think?
Lemore fingers Darian at the end as the killer.
That's true.
Although I kind of mentioned that happening already.
He gets put as a suspect, and I'm sure that that will have huge consequences in this next investigation day. Oh no, it doesn't. Actually, on this investigation day, all of the suspects are allowed to roam free and do whatever they feel like because the police force sucks. So yeah.
Yeah.
The second
I don't know
day.
why they did like nothing to Darian whatsoever, and I don't know why they continue to keep Machi arrested after Lemore gets assaulted on day 2.
Yeah.
It's like she was very provably attacked by someone. Who would want to do this? Oh, I don't know. The killer of the murder trial that is happening right now.
I absolutely hated that part of the case. They're just like,
I
yeah,
don't know why it even
just
happens.
let all these suspects run free. Who cares?
I don't even know why it happened. Why they felt the need to write it in. They could just not had it not happen, and like everything would have been fine.
Yeah, it's
Because like the only thing that like you don't get any evidence as a result of it. You just can't talk to Lemore for a while. Uh, the only thing that you're
not even really that long, honestly.
yeah, not that long. The only thing that like it leads to on the last day of the trial, the last trial day, is like there's a conversation where the judge wants to dismiss the case, and Paul's like, Lemore was attacked. Clearly, the real killer is not Machi. We need to go do investigation, or somebody didn't want testimony getting out. I think what it actually says.
Yeah.
But like, they could have just had a conversation without her being attacked too. It's not like they invented an obstacle for it to solve, and they're like, "Well, see, this had to happen. It solved this obstacle."
Also, the fact that like,
because like
Darian,
they didn't end the trial on day 1 for a reason, you know.
I mean, I guess I understand that Darian isn't like a killer or anything, but really, he hit her on the forehead, and then she somehow survived, and then was able to run away from him. Really? I don't know. It's kind of silly. I mean, and also just the fact that like they have this whole section at the beginning of the second investigation day where it's like, wow, you don't trust me, Apollo? All right, I'm gonna go be really suspicious and leave you now. Definitely not do anything bad if just in case you didn't already believe that I was definitely 100% the killer. Let me just be super suspicious even more. I guess we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves though, because at the beginning of this investigation is when you actually get introduced to Fruit Grammary. We also Grammire. We also no, I like the name Grammary more.
But it's a pun. It's a grimoire. Grammire.
Grammire, whatever. We actually get plot for the game when he is introduced. He kind of just inserts himself into this case and is like, "I am here to explain the plot of Apollo Justice to you." So we learn a bit more about. It turns out Brucey is not actually Phoenix's daughter. What? Wow, who could have seen that coming?
I know. I can't believe Phoenix didn't have like a biological daughter that he never mentioned in the trilogy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then we also get like some flashback to some guy called like Magic something.
Magnifi.
Kind of
That's
looks
how
like
I've always said it in my
Wario.
head. I really like that the CG of him with all the animals. I think it's really good looking.
I don't know why they did that, but it's kind of funny.
I just think, well, I just think it looks nice.
I also do kind of like how they contrast all these great feats that they've done, like hiding an entire jet plane or like blowing up an entire amusement park. But once they got like axed off of television, that's they couldn't do anything after that. They're performing in like parking lots. It's like okay,
Yeah,
okay. So are these like super magical beings of innate power or just
they were
frauds?
super magical beings of innate power, and their network deal ran out.
Yeah, that's pretty silly. Um, we go to see Machi for a little bit though, and we figure out we need like a trump card to get him to prove that he can actually speak. So doesn't actually really go anywhere though in this investigation. We have to wait until the trial day, which is a bit annoying. But otherwise, we also see Sunshine Coliseum returning from investigations 2, I believe. Yes, yes,
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
returning in the order that you played the games in.
Yeah, pretty
That's
cool.
what I was saying when in the last case, investigations too, is that that Sunshine Coliseum will return. Dot dot dot. I said that the CG of it, the background of it, was from a different game. It's from this game right now.
Hmm. A bit of a side tangent for me. This is the first time those bird sound effects have returned in the background. It's kind of just like a minor thing, but I don't know. I feel like that always used to like unnerve me in like the original trilogy back when I played it for the first time. I don't know why, but now it was just kind of
You thought the
nice.
bird was in the room with you the whole
It's
time.
just kind of nice to hear that sound effect used again, you know? I just have like memories of like Gord and those bird sound effects playing. So it's always a bit unnerving when you have characters showed up and a theme is not playing for them. It's just like silence or bird sound effects. But yes, we of course have the great sequence of events where Lemire is suddenly attacked and we find her in a guitar case, stuff like that. Also, we get a videotape so we can play it over and over again. The 3D models, amazing. We finally get the headset as evidence because for some reason they just couldn't count that as evidence on the first day. Uh, and this is also where we learn about all the little devices for the lighters and stuff. It's kind of cool, I guess. It's kind of unknown why there's one in the Omir's room, but I think it's pretty clear. Like one of these is what set off the guitar
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
and then you find the one in the guitar later. So
Yeah. And we go over to Gavin's office, get some newspapers, just for very obvious evidence, contradiction stuff going to be used later on. um, and we get the famous introduction of the weird stone that turns out to be a cocoon. Uh,
it's not a rock; it's plastic.
it's definitely a plot point of this case, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I don't
it's a
know.
MacGuffin.
Yeah. This is the
I,
famous
I
cocoon that if you take out of the country, we will kill you. Okay.
I think this is like the one time Ace Attorney really runs into like they aren't allowed to get the M equivalent in Japan issue, where like it makes no sense that it's export control because it can be made into poison. It should be drugs.
Yeah. It's
I
like
literally thought it was drug, and I remember it being drugs. Then I played the case and it made it into poison. I'm like, oh yeah, I just logicked it into the way that made sense to me.
a super
It should be like
good
a hyper
cure.
addictive narcotic or something, and then
Also
also
just
can be
it's just a little bit I don't know.
I don't mind stuff like outside of reality existing if they can like justify it existing in the game, but it's introduced really late into the case as like the MacGuffin the entire case kind of ended up revolving around.
Yeah.
I don't really like it.
I also don't really
Doesn't
like
really.
it because I feel like the freaking incuritis thing, I don't know, I think that's just kind of uninspired. It's like a disease. And it
It's
like
probably
I don't know. That part is kind of dumb. Honestly, just the cocoon itself is kind of dumb. And also like yeah, it is just one of those things that you are given like 2 seconds before the case is coming to a close. So it's like okay.
in
Along with
Japanese. It's called cureless syndrome.
you keep getting evidence at the very end of this case as well because at the beginning of the next trial day, you get given another newspaper thing just about like the chief justice's son being in the hospital.
I do like that they seeded that dialogue in at the beginning of the first trial day, for it to be relevant at the second trial day. Like the judge does mention visiting the chief justice's son on trial day 1 as well.
Yeah,
That is good.
it's a little bit of foreshadowing. I didn't notice that. It's kind of nice. Um, we got a lot of back and forth with Machi and Lumire though. Here, her translating. They have a few funny moments where it's like she asks Machi what he thinks about a question that was clearly aimed at her.
Yeah.
Um, we also got the perceive moment where we look at his eyes and see that he looks at Lemire when she says the word English, which is enough to know that he's lying, I guess. Although it does take a while for them to eventually reveal that he can actually understand and speak some English. Uh,
Yeah, I think they wanted to have him like talk to you at the end of the case, and they couldn't do that if you didn't speak the language that you speak. I feel like it kind of undermines like some of the pathos of day 1 from you able to like understand everything the whole time though.
yeah,
Cause like I feel like it's a very being like a kid, you don't even speak the language of the country, and everyone is like accusing you of murder is like really sympathetic, and they kind of just undermine that. But whatever. Maybe I'm just looking at things to be bad at in this case.
yeah. I mean, this whole part of the case, this first half, because I mean, it's a bit hard for me to remember exactly where things are brought up, but this is the whole thing with the illusion as well. Just like, oh, we can't reveal the magician's trick, so you got to figure it out, Apollo. It's kind of
Yeah.
silly. Eventually, you get to the whole explanation though, with somehow, what's his? How do you freaking pronounce his name?
Vermeer.
Grimmeyer. Looked exactly like Lemire.
I,
Somehow,
I mean, I think that is pretty clearly a joke.
yeah.
Is that he was the double? I think that's funny.
That wasn't a huge blemish on the case or anything. I don't know why. I
But
don't know why that one is so much more. Just like I can accept that, just because it's funny.
because
I
it's funny.
guess.
It's just that he's such a good magician. He can inexplicably make himself look like a a very different looking woman.
Yeah. Um. They have the whole thing with her like speaking the
See, because
whole
the
time.
thing is, it's easy to write things off if you have a good explanation for it. The good explanation is that he's a skilled magician. That's all you need. You
Yeah,
can justify it then.
that's true. That's true.
The problem is that we don't get good explanations for a lot of stuff in this case.
There's not enough funny explanations.
Yeah.
Like, there's no funny explanations for why the stuff with House wrote was wiped out, or why
Yeah.
nobody wanted to check the fingerprints of the gun at all.
Or why nobody is allowed to say that this 14-year-old boy does not have a dislocated or broken arm after firing this hand cannon.
Yeah, no, everybody in this universe just kind of accepts that as a fact.
Maybe he was
That
trained as an assassin in
definitely.
Virginia.
Yeah. Jeez. But yeah, we learned the whole thing of the whole trick behind the illusion. It's kind of neat, I guess. I mean, the whole I feel like the only real surprising thing from that was that Lemire wasn't actually the one singing on the stage at the beginning, anyways. It was kind of obvious that they would have to do some sort of trapdoor thing, I guess, to have
Yeah.
her do that.
I
But
think
having two
I
of
do like the
her was kind of a twist, yeah.
I like the joke throughout the entire case that like Clavier is like a massive perfectionist about the band when he's kind of lax as an attorney. And then it
Yeah.
leads to like Drillmore having to she has to like sing in the tunnel while she's doing the magic trick because he
Yeah.
won't accept using a recording at all.
I mean, this is where they start introducing the whole
She's
thing.
also
Like,
kind of pissy on day one
because
too,
I
which is
didn't
funny.
notice at first that the lyrics she had sung were slightly different than the lyrics on the card. So that's pretty cool how they bring that up. Gotta give him credit for that. Something I definitely didn't catch, but then once it started becoming an actual like thing in the case, I was like, oh, they freaking hid that in there. And then also with the brooch as well that she loses. It's like you can look back. Yep, it's not something I would have noticed on a first or second or third playthrough until now, when I know. And now, if I ever replay this case, I'm gonna see it. So, oh well. But yeah, once that's pretty much done, we learned that Machi can speak English. We move over to the pressing of Darien, but not before Phoenix shows up for 1 second. Says he's actually has a secret mission that he's doing and he can't reveal what it is.
His secret mission is finding out how to aura farm harder. He aura farms so hard in this game.
And then gives you evidence that he definitely shouldn't have access to, but I guess Emma was just kind enough to share with him. Their reunion
this game is
happens
the
off
Phoenix Wright is
screen.
cultivating aura game. He's just like he's like growing it in the fields.
That's so sad that their freaking reunion happens off screen.
I really like Hobo Phoenix.
I don't know how to feel about him. I feel like he's kind of stupid right now, but maybe it'll all come together in the final case.
It's a divisive topic, Hobo Phoenix, but I don't know. As long as you farm enough aura, and to me he does, I can look past things.
I just don't know if this aura is leading anywhere, and also the fact that I know he comes back to be an attorney in the later games after
Close
this.
your eyes and look at the box
Anyways,
art.
it's kind of like, oh, so everything gets resolved, then he stops aura farming and goes back to being like a dummy.
Just close your eyes and don't look at the box art for Apologist Trilogy. He never is an attorney again.
Definitely, yeah.
And then when you play Dual Destinies, use the Hobo Phoenix costume.
I mean, come on, this is the Apollo Justice trilogy, right? We'll be playing as Apollo the entire time. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's called Dual Destinies because there's 2 main characters, not 3.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we get Darian on the stand. He's kind of a funny guy. We basically have
Javier
to go...
does not really care that his like long-term bandmate is the killer of the case. It bugs me.
Yeah, he's pretty lax with this stuff.
Javier does not have a character arc in this episode.
He really is just like, I'm here for the truth sometimes. I don't know. He's kind of a wishy-washy kind of guy in this case, I feel like.
Darian, what is my character arc?
Although to be fair, you do have the moment where Apollo is like, yeah, I'm gonna start accusing my own defendant as well of a crime. You know, actually, now that I just brought that up, so like, Machi was 100% involved in the smuggling, though, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So like, doesn't that mean they could still, after he gets out of prison, just go send somebody to kill him?
You can't. So this is like an international law thing that they don't explain in the case, but it's just like general knowledge is that if someone serves time for a crime, generally, if you don't want to piss off another country, they're done. That's their sentence.
I see. Okay. Well, I guess that he just can't go back to Virginia at all ever. Right? Can't go.
Probably not, no.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that kind of makes sense then.
But, you know, he had a good reason for engaging in that smuggling that he explains the end of the case. I did money and I can't explain why. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's true. They really do just kind of brush it off. Yeah, so we have a bit of a back and forth with Darian, did some stuff with the mixing board. We need like some decisive evidence to get him out there, so that's why the decisive evidence ends up being Machi. We just like, he'll be here to call you out, Darian. And
If he wants to
Darian,
live, he has to confess to the crime here, because otherwise he'll just go home and then he'll get killed for the crime. I like that.
yeah, makes sense. It gives Machi a
It,
reason
it's
to
a good moment. It
cooperate.
stays at the ethos of Ace Attorney very well, which is that truth is good.
Yeah, it kind of, honestly, it just kind of feels a bit underwhelming, I guess, compared to like, oh, Phoenix is like, yeah, you're gonna have to play kind of dirty to get this one, Apollo, but not really. Like the solution is pretty simple at the end of the day, and also like they make it pretty clear that you don't really have any other evidence that you can really present as decisive at this point. So like when you're given the option of what to use as your decisive stuff, it's pretty clearly like, oh, I wonder if I should use the other thing that I haven't been able to use as evidence the entire
Yeah,
time a witness. That, I mean, that is something we haven't brought up in this game. You can't use witnesses as evidence at all anymore.
yeah. I thought that was a change in Dual Destinies, but I guess it happened in this game.
Yeah, kind of forgot about that because that was a thing in 2 and 3, but then I mean, we didn't really have anything like that in the investigations games, so it's been a while.
Yeah,
But
I I uh I remember that was a thing that got cut. I just first thought they cut it a little bit later.
yeah, it's weird. I mean,
Uh,
it just, I guess it makes things a little less cluttered, I guess, or confusing. But also in
Yeah,
this games, it's pretty clear, like it's pretty clear any of the moments where you actually need to present a witness. I feel like it's never too obfuscated. But yes, we eventually proved that Darian was the one that kind of set up this whole thing. Um, Quite easily, in fact, the smuggling done because of the connections that Gavin has, being a prosecutor and all, which I thought was pretty cool. Having Gavin actually getting taken advantage of a little bit, getting a little bit of humble pie, I suppose. Um, and then yeah, Machi is like, I did it because I wanted money, and pretty much the case, I guess. I don't know. Anything else you want to bring up?
not really.
Okay. I did have another quote that I liked. I don't actually even think you get this from getting something wrong. It's just when you do a press and then like Apollo gets shot down. Um, just the judge saying when he overrules one of your objections, important smortance. I don't know. I don't know why he says that, but it's very funny. Uh, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much the case then. Um, get into some of our wrap up thoughts here then. So, I will say, yeah, this discussion did not exactly improve my thoughts on this case for
That's what
sure.
happens when you're talking to someone who has it as his number 2 bottom case in the series.
Yeah, geez, is it really ranked there?
Yeah,
100%?
probably.
Dang. Wow. Oh, I didn't know if I was gonna put it like that low, but
I'm very low on it, okay?
I don't know. Is there any other reasons that we haven't discussed that puts this so low for you?
I mean, I mentioned that I don't like Clavier not having an arc in this case. That was not a joke. I
Hmm.
feel like that should have like having your long-term bandmate. He clearly values the band more than his prosecutor career. Be the killer, like doesn't matter to him at all. And then like it seems like he cared. It seems like it's like getting to him at like the very first time. He's just like, actually, I had him ready as a witness because I thought this might happen. It's like, okay, whatever. I guess
Yeah.
we're not allowed to do anything with Clavier. He's just gonna be the cool prosecutor guy. He's just always on the side of good. Whatever, Apollo Justice, the game.
Yeah, he's kind of just a goody two shoes, and he's already like immediate like, yeah, he's probably the killer. I'm gonna register him as a witness, even though he'll still push back on Apollo for some things. So
Eh. But I'm not very down on most of Ace Attorney is the thing, so. And like
yeah,
Turnabout Ablaze is also not great, but it's funny. Like Turnabout Ablaze is like a train wreck, and it's funny to watch it happen, you know? Like when Corcus Alba doesn't leave the witness zone
yeah,
for like a million years, it's really funny, and it's easy to, it feels more like you're in on something when you're watching it happen. and you talk about it later because it's like, remember that time that old man wouldn't shut up, and you're like, wow, that was such a great time, wasn't it? And then in this case, it's just like, remember when like nothing made any sense and it was really annoying? That's not as fun to reminisce on.
Well, let's see here. I mean, I will say there are still some good points in this case. As I've said, I like the mixing board.
Yeah, there are good points in this case. There are good point. There are good points in every Eastern case. I don't think any of them are like
yeah,
horrible
if you could
experiences.
speed up the video, I would like the idea with that more. I like the idea. It's just the fact that you have to watch it so many times is bad. But
Yeah.
having like all the
Or if
little
like when they were talking about it, they
inconsistencies.
just used like freeze frames of videos as CG.
Yeah. They also take away your ability to like speed up the text during those moments too, which sucks.
Yeah, and I'm definitely guilty of like to make the message just go by like instantly so I can read it all fast because I read
Yeah.
faster than text speed scrolls.
Yeah.
I'm a very fast reader. I don't know if
I mean, I do
that's
that
just an
as well.
established.
I think the normal text speed is kind of slow in this game. I had forgotten to switch that for the first case, so it was kind of a drag until I got to a pause screen. Okay, well, that's probably all we're going to get out of this case, so how about we go into our rankings then? Goom, what's your emotions on this case?
This case makes me angry.
Angry?
Grr.
Oh my
Why is
freaking
this
god.
14-year-old boy arrested for no reason? Grr.
Jesus
It doesn't make
Christ.
sense. Grr.
Dang. I mean, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I was gonna be a bit nicer toward it, then I like then I had my rant. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go up a level.
All right. Well, I guess that leaves it to me to figure out where I want to rank it then. Honestly, I think Turnabout Big Top does the whole magic aspect of the case a bit better, so I gotta at least put it below that. I'm feeling like this is, I think it's better than Turnabout Visitor, worse than Turnabout Sisters. Yeah, that feels right to me. Man, I was going to put it a lot higher, but yeah, through our discussion and you pointing out a lot of the inconsistencies, this case does have some pretty big problems.
Yeah, I can't think
So,
of a time where I wasn't bothered by Machi being arrested, unfortunately.
yeah.
I think it really was just a thing that I like thought when I was playing the case for the first time, and then I mean other people have also talked about it because, but like it's just a thing that irritates me.
that'll put Turnabout Serenade at 24 to 27, just below Turnabout Sisters, just above Turnabout Visitor. And Turnabout Sisters, I believe that is the second case of the very first Ace Attorney game.
It is.
Turnabout Visitor is the first case of Investigations 1. So,
Turnabout Sisters is another case I'm kind of down on, but at least that one has more defenders than this case does.
there you have it.
Every
Justice,
case has defenders, though.
not exactly the best track record so far, but I don't know. Maybe this last case will be pretty dang good. We'll see.
Well, you really think the Turnabout Succession will be good?
Maybe.
I gotta not make that joke in the actual recording about it.
No, you're gonna forget. You're gonna do it.
I am, but
all right.
I might do it, but I'll try not to.
Well, I think that'll end it here for this discussion. Goomb, where can the people find you at?
People can find me. I'm singing my magical song while I traipse through the vents at the speed of 2 minutes, like Among Us.
Are you gonna stop for a second when you hear a bullet, though?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try and listen out for that.
Oh yeah, there was a mental note that I didn't write down. Is like, if Emma was real person in this case actually happened in 2026, she would have said that the crime was just like Among Us when she said the killer hopped her vents because she was born in 1999. True. She's in the age range to have played a lot of Among Us during the pandemic.
That's true. Wow, I didn't think about that. Wow, guys, this case is just like Among Us. I mean, Apollo would. Oh god. Oh god. No, I don't want to think about that then, because that means Trucy would be super freaking brain rotted. She's 15 right now.
Yeah, haven't.
Oh dear.
That's why I posted like the Trucy 6-7 thing a while ago because that's what she'd be saying.
Oh God, no, I don't want to think about that. Bring me back to the 2026 of the
You can
2007
listen.
era.
In my head canon, like Trucy and Phoenix is going like 6-7 at the office, and Apollo is just like, why am I living with this?
Oh, jeez. Okay,
I really
well,
like the Trucy Phoenix Apollo dynamic. I think it's really funny. I wish there was more of it in the game.
thank you for putting that image into my head. You can find me here on Zigzam YouTube channel. Yeah. Um, to eventually get the last case of Apollo Justice discussion coming out probably next week. I don't think we need to take 2 weeks for it, do we? It's not
I don't think
super
so.
long. Okay. Well, I guess next week we will finish Apollo Justice. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye now. You're
What?
looking VC end. I think I
Bye.
posted this before. I have it on my phone.